Happy Wednesday morning, y'all. I want to jump on here real quick, and I've been talking to some friends lately about, this Tennessee defensive line. Some of them disagree with me. Some of them agree with me. I'm going to make a bold statement about our defensive line. This is the best defensive line in Tennessee history of at least the last 40 years that I can remember. I think I've said this in my video, but I want to make it very, very clear where I stand. This defensive line is better than the late 90s defensive line, the Haynesworth and the Henderson defensive line of the early 2000s. As a whole, depth, the whole things, everything considered, I think when this season is over and all things are said and done, you're going to look back at this defensive line and go, man, that is the best defensive line that Tennessee has ever had. Linebackers are looking really good too. Just our front 6 or 7 are just really phenomenal right now for us. But I'm just so excited to see how we do going forward. I feel so sorry. I don't really feel sorry, but I feel like the Oklahoma is such a mismatch game for them. Oklahoma's offensive line right now is pitiful, and their offense is not playing that well. And they're going to go against a defensive line that is probably the best defensive line right now in the country. I can't imagine if there is anybody better than our defensive line, maybe one or two. Maybe. You might could put a Georgia in there or somebody like that. Maybe there's one other team out there. But if that's kind of being really nitpicky, they're probably neck and neck at that. Tennessee is definitely a top 3 defensive line unit in the country. That's fact. But I just want, Vol fans, I just want to stress this enough to you. I cannot stress this enough. This defensive line is going to win us so many games this year. The defensive line controls everything. If teams cannot run on us, they're going to be in long situations when it comes to passing. 3rd and long, that's where you got James Pierce, Tyree West, Josephs. And then they pin their ears back, and then they get after the quarterback. So Nico is going to come along more and more and more and more every week. And you're going to see him by the end of the year hitting his full stride. So we've not even seen even close to the best offensive output that we're going to have this year. We keep getting this defensive performance every week. Tennessee is looking like they're targeted to be probably an 11-win team. I know I'm kind of getting my horses before the cart saying these things, and I know I'm excited, but when I see the defensive line, when I see the linebackers and how dominant they are, and I see our offensive line dominant and the running game that we have, if we can get anything out of Nico, and our receivers, that's a top 3 unit in the SEC, our receivers. Tennessee is going to be in fine shape this year. And they're definitely going to be a college football playoff team. So, anyway, I just want to jump on here and I just want to make a very bold statement. Tennessee's defensive line, this is the best defensive line in the last 40 years of Tennessee history. And I will even say this is the best defensive line in the country this year. The Tennessee defensive line. They play 10 to 12 deep. They rotate them in and out of games. The defensive ends, the defensive line. It don't get no better, folks. And these offensive lines that play Tennessee, they don't get any kind of break, because guess what? That 2nd or 3rd group that they row in there, they're not missing a beat. They're just as good as the first group. So I just want to get on here, brag on my Vols a little bit, and just how good our defensive line is right now this season and will continue to be. Good luck, SEC, putting up with this defensive line, because you're going to have your hands full.